M0FXB. So we got this buck converter that at the moment we're just going to use one to power the BAOFENG 888 and the Raspberry Pi 3. So we need 5 volts for the Raspberry Pi. So coming straight from here, we'll just test it. We've got 5 volts. We hope. There you go, 5 volts. So we've got 2 lives coming out of the plus. One's the 5 volts that's going to go to the Pi. The one with all the diodes on, that's going to go to the BAOFENG 888. So the idea of that is that it's going to be you know, nearer 4 volts. So let's just test the current there. So just hold it here, it's a bit fiddly. We'll tap it on here. We've got 4.2, which I think's near enough. So there you go, 7.3. M0FXB. So we've got the BAOFENG now connected by USB to the computer. The one that we purchased was the lead we got was a fiver, and it came with a CD. But in the end, I just went to the just Googled driver, and that was actually the easiest way to install it. So all we do now, we're just going to put in our frequency, which is let's get it right. Okay, so having a check, making sure I'm setting things up correctly. So let's go back to memories. So memories here, I've copy and pasted my frequency, which is 434.400 tone squelch 118.8, all low power FM. I literally just did one and then copy and pasted all the way down. Then I went down to settings, and if you can look here, I basically unticked virtually everything. Left Vox at 2, speech level, squelch level 3, monitor, and 300 seconds there for timeout. And then I've gone file, upload to radio, and which you get. Now the way I found my radio, I literally just, I don't think the driver even installed properly. I literally just plugged it into Windows 10, went to Device Manager, and there it was on COM9. So I thought, well, that's quite lucky. And I just see where it says CH340, which is the driver's number. So maybe I already had it on there. So right, we've sent that to the radio. Now what we're going to do, we're actually going to test the radio. So we've got the 2 radios, both programmed with the same frequency. So if I just talk into the BAOFENG now, hello, 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 and take it from me, you can hear me. 1 2 1 2 1. I've tested it outside. 1 2. So it works that way. And then if we go back the other way, so the FT70 talking to the BAOFENG, hello, 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 and you can definitely hear me going into it there. So yeah, that's all ready to go into the AllStar node. So 7.3 for now. 0FXB, the CS108 fob, a sound fob that's used for the AllStar node, the design by G7 RPG, which basically means you can use a normal FM radio to connect you into the AllStar system, and then you can connect around the world. So here's the one that G5RV makes. He's done a very nice job of this, all using surface mounted resistors and a transistor, and then adding these wires. Now there's some very fine wires here that's been added, and I'll explain what they do in this graph. Here's a good image of this one anyway. And I'll just turn it around, and he's routed one underneath and then taped over it. So but it's to make it look nice and neat. So there it is there. If you need to just freeze frame on that, you can see the transistor is about here, the resistors are here and up underneath these wires, and I've got it on this diagram. I'm going to explain the diagram to you. So if we just put that to one side, look at this diagram. So it's all, we've numbered it here, and this is Ben that's numbered these to make it easier. So the numbers will correspond with, if I just put this here, so we'll go, if you look at here, where the black wire is here, that's number 1, 2, 3, and then underneath you've got 3 connectors, so that's 4, 5, 6, and then underneath again you've got the 7, 8, 9, and at the very bottom 10, 11, and 12. So what you need to do is add a 10k resistor between 2 and 3, a 10k resistor between 7 and 8, a 1k resistor between 11 and 12. Then you can see all the wires coming off here from the one that's been made. So if we look at this square section here, so that would correspond with this square here. So if you look at the, say, the top left, that we've got a red wire. Sorry, I won't say red wire. We've got this very fine wire. Now, 30 gauge, I think is the one that Ben recommended, but he's used very fine coated wire. So it can't short because it's this fine brass wire here. Put it a bit closer. Has actually been coated. Just try and get that at focus so you can see. So the routing's confusing on that because it's been routed underneath. So, but I'll just act like it's going over the top. So basically you've got a wire from A to C2, which is the right hand side here of the, just there. You've got a wire going from B here to number 7 here, so that would effectively flow over the top there, go to number 7. You've got a wire connected here from C, which is the left hand side pointing this way, so towards my thumb, and that eventually that wire will tail off and that will connect to an LED light. Then if you look here, we've also got the transistor here. So the transistor is just here, and it's connecting, the collector is connecting to number 5, the base to number 8, and the emitter to number 9. So what else we've got? So we've done the resist. Oh yeah, there's some tracks that you have to break as well. The tracks that you break are here, going between pin 8 and 11, here going between pin 7 and 8, and here between pin 2 and 5. So I think that covers everything that's in this diagram. We've got a yellow wire that's going to be connected, you can see it here, to the receive. We've got a black wire that's here, that's on number 1, that's going to go to transmit, and then you've got a white wire. These all tail off to the radio. A white wire that goes to the COS. So this is just a quick video to show you that, and the transistor, I'll have to get the model on that. I'll put it in the description, but I think the surface mounted one is a 1 AM, but I'll put the transistor model and the different resistor parts in the description. So yeah, CS108 sound fob for the AllStar. Hope this helps. 7.3
M0FXB. So very early stages. Get to hamvoip here, hamvoip.org/howtos. You'll see there's loads of good stuff here that you can use, but the main thing is at the moment you want the image, so go all the way down and click, keep going, this one here. So just there you go, click it there, run it, and then extract it somewhere where you're going to find it, or straight to a USB stick if you want. Once you've got it stored somewhere, that image, then I would get Bellina Etcher is what I use. You can use Disk Imager if that's what you use. So when you select flash from file, so you'll select the file where you've stored the image, select the target, that'll be the SD card that you've got in an adapter in your computer, just a micro SD card, and then flash. And then so get that SD card and put that into your Raspberry Pi 3B. It will work on other ones, but that's the one I use. Plug that into your network, get your Ethernet cable, plug it into your router, and then do a scan, like a Wi-Fi scan, and find the IP address of it. And it's normally called, if I try and find my one now, if I just go to my router, like so. Oh, typical, we're not going to find it now. 92. Right, there's my router there. Right, taking ages, of course. IP scanner's doing a scan as well. Now, on my router, it always comes up as alarm pi. Can't see it on IP scanner. But in my router, there it is there, alarm pi. And so that is the IP address. So you're looking for the word alarm pi, alarm pi. Okay, so once you've got that, and then you'll be able to go to the next process. Now we're going to put in the WinSCP settings. Providing you've done the image correctly, you will find that appear in your network search. The IP address on my one is here. I've put that in here. The port number is 22, or the 3 twos. The username is still going to be root, but the password will be the new password you earlier created. So we'll just put that in, and then we'll log in. Here we are at these files here. Double click here, go to, we're looking for ETC. So we'll double click here, then we'll go to ETC. Then go to asterisk, and then you're looking for rpt-conf. Click that. Then go to the bottom, right to the bottom. Got a slider here. And you're looking for this section. Now I've already done mine, so what you need to do is basically copy this, but using your own node number that you've got in your AllStar, or created in AllStar. So, and see, so the top line is the node number, and type that exactly the same, but your node number. The middle line, but instead of this section here that says radio at, see this 2.222.170, you've got to put in your public IP address, for your own home, for your router, and then you can see the line underneath. Now at the top here, you would put in your local IP address of the your Raspberry Pi is showing up in your network, so you will have a different address here. So mine is it's actually at the moment it's actually 6, because I haven't set the static yet, so it changes. So it's actually 6. Okay, so and then when you've done that, hit save here at the top. Yeah, I will also add that at the bottom here, your port number is important. See, it says 82 here, so make sure you get that in there. And just notice that you have got a colon in there as well, a colon. You have to get it exactly the same. So you can just hit the X here to close that for now, because that's done. Make sure you have saved. So then look for manager.conf, which is this one here. So once you're in manager.conf, go down, see down here it says admin, and then you've got secret, and you can create, I've just put Raspberry for now, but just create your own password here that you're going to remember in Raspberry, and then click save here as well, and then you can close that. Then hit double click local. No, that's not correct, so we'll go back, hit the top one again, hit the yellow box above local, and you're looking for HTT, let's find it, HTTPD. So see it here, you can get quite lost in these menus. You've just got to click up and down a little bit. HTTPD, double click that, then select conf, and then select httpd.conf, double click that, and then you get this window. Then scroll down and you find this bit that says listen 80. So just here, and then what you do, you add a line here. So you put listen space, I've put 82. I think you can change, you can choose the port that you want to use if you've got multiple nodes. So get that one in there and click save here. Remember, you always save it here, save. Close that window. Now we're looking for SRV again. I think we click here for that at the top. So you've got extra, then above you've got this yellow file. Double click that. Trying to find it. Give me a second to find it for you. So what I did was I just clicked the arrow up here. And then I went, if I got lost, I just go to root. Double click root again. Then I click this file where you started at the beginning, because you can get a bit lost in this. And then I'm looking for SRV, which is here, look, SRV. So be persistent, don't close the window, just keep trying with these files here and this arrow, and eventually you'll find the thing. So it's SRV you want. Then go to HTTP and then double click Supermon. Then all Mon INI, that one there. Then here at the top, just add your node number here, and then your password. See, it says password here. Add the same password here. Okay, then remember to save it, and then you can close that. And now you can reboot PuTTY. So now just go back to PuTTY, log back into PuTTY, and then you're going to go with your same username and password as before. Then go to number 9, select run. So once you've logged back into PuTTY, you need to add a password again. So what you do is go here and put in so it comes up automatically with the hash here, then space cd space srv http /supermon, then it'll go with a new line, then it's rm space dot http sswd. Now the mistake I keep doing is putting in an r and then I get an error. So once you've typed that section there on line number 2, let's call it, then hit put in the word y and hit, so you hit enter here, then put y, then enter. Now ignore these lines, they were mistakes, this line here and this line here. The correct line is httpasswd space small c capital B space httpasswd space admin. Once you do that, then it will allow you to type your password. Now when you type the new password, you can't see it, So just type it, hit enter, and then it will say, you know, retype it, hit enter, and then if it all works well, it will say adding password for user admin, and then you can now type exit, XIT, hit enter, and that will take you back to the you know, the start menu. So now you can just go down to reboot and then click run, reboot. So now we can put in the IP address that we've got for our server. So I can see my Raspberry Pi flashing away at the moment. And if you've got it right, you will have this. This is a test come up. It's not, you don't see much. It's quite disappointing. Big white page. But basically it says here, if you see this web server is working. So we got the web server. So now if we put a slash in front of it and put Supermon, PERMON, and hit enter, we go to the page here, which is quite refreshing. There's my node number. So there's all the information here, lots you can look at. Anyway, so we want to log in now. So let's see if I can remember my login passwords. So we'll hit, it's quite small, but at the top here on the left, it goes yellow when you go over it, when you hover over it. Click login. Now I've just got to remember my password. Now I use a temporary one, didn't I? So it's either root at the, no, actually it's admin at the top, ADMIN, and then I think I used Raspberry, didn't I? RASPBERRY. Let's get rid of that. Log in. Did we log in? It's saying we'll log in. So, well, that's it. We're logged in. Can we see anything here? There you go. Hit my number, and look, we can actually connect to things now. But the thing is, I've only got the Raspberry Pi connected at the moment, so it's not going to do much. Because the idea, I'm getting this ready for when I make a G7 RPG node. But this is a big step in the right direction, and lots of stuff here to look at. And let's click here, bubble map. There you go. That's me with my location. I could connect to something, but I can't see the point. So anyway, hope this helps. It's you know, it's a bit fiddly. You've got to take your time and watch it step by step. But this is an important step for using your own AllStar node. 73M0FXB. Bye for now. M0FXB, Digital Ham Radio Diary. Welcome. Buck converter powered up with 12 volts. We've got our multimeter. We're just going to turn this screw here until we get it down, because at the moment it's exiting 12 volts. We want to get it down to 5. This is our buck converter, so you've got 12 volts that are going to go in from, just for now I'm just going to use this. And then we've got 12 volts that are, we can adjust it here down to 5 volts coming out, and then it'll be 5 volts out. But then what we'll do is we'll add some capacitors, some resistors, to bring down a second wire to the sort of 4 watts that's required for the radio. Let's get this BAOFENG 888S dismantled, ready to go in our box. So we'll start off by taking the battery off. Just clip that down and it slides off like so. Now we're going to undo that ring there. I just put a couple of tweezers in the gap there, and I just turned them and it started turning like so. Then we just turn it all the way
until it comes off. There you go. Give it a tap, and that's come off now. Now we just pull off these knobs, yank them off. Cool, the big one's quite stiff. So we've got a couple of rings that we've got to remove in here. So we're going to see if we can find a very small screwdriver and put them in the slot and turn it. So eventually they come off just with a small flat screwdriver, just poking it round. Next we're going to undo these two screws here, like so. I'm going to keep all these bits. Who knows what we might end up making with them. I'm thinking about trying to make use of the battery, see if I can battery power the node. I'm sure it'll come in handy somehow. It does come with a USB charger, so that tells me that the USB charger will be 5 volts, so something else to play with. Anyway, let's get these screws off all the way. So yeah, once the screws are off, this just falls off. And let's have a look at the next, how we get this rubber thing off here in a sec. Next we'll get these two screws off here at the bottom. Just here. There's one. There's another one. Okay, got them off. Now let's just lift this up here, see if it just pulls out. It'll be connected to a speaker, so we'll give it a wiggle. And there you go, there's the speaker connection. And as you can see, we can get that off. I haven't decided if I'm going to desolder it or just snip the wires. So we'll have a look in a minute. So we're going to use the air solder to remove the speaker. There you go, it's off. Now we've got these 5 screws, big one in the middle here. There you go. So we'll take all those 5 off. So we've got the screws off. Now it won't lift off now until we desolder, by the looks of it, this one and this one, for it to lift off. Give it a little heat and a lift. Yeah. Might have to do it with a soldering iron. Let's just switch over to the soldering iron. So it looks like we just have to desolder this one, not the other one, just this one. I think that's nearly off. It's come in just a bit more, and we'll be there. There you go. So that it was only the one solder point that needed to be done, and there was a plastic grommet that was on here which I pulled off. So we're just going to remove this LED here, just here. Just Desoldering the LED. It's coming bit by bit. You can't just yank it off, I suppose, but I might make use of it. Right, next we'll get the microphone off, 'cause we've got the LED off now. And then we'll just get this microphone and just sort of give it a twist. Yeah, try not to break anything else. There you go, microphone off, no wires shorting. Next we're going to remove this coil and this chip here. Well, a bit of a mess, but we got a wire on from the last capacitor here to the first connection where the transistor was. I've connected this white wire here. I think normally it would be orange, but anyway, to the top left corner there, and it's going to be the COS wire. Okay, we've soldered the wire back through here, or the connector. We're starting to put in these, put it back together and put these screws back on. So we've soldered it back together with the connector here, and we're putting these screws back on. Put the 10K wire here and the 10K wire here, and then we've got the earth wire here sticking out the side. So we're going to use the buck converter to power the radio at the moment. I'm going to use the USB charger to power the Pi, because I'm missing one part, but it's fine, it'll work. So at the moment we've got the live coming straight from the buck converter straight into this connection here, and we've got an earth going from the side there straight onto the USB as an earth there. And at the moment we're just sticking out, our COS cable is sticking out. We've plugged in the fob now, and then so the next part is just start attaching you know, all these wires here. So we're moving forward. We've got the yellow wire here, black here, which comes from the top of the USB connector. We've got the black here, which goes to here. So, and then the brown one here, that's the live in, and we're plodding forward with it. And we've got this red wire here as well, which is the PTT 0FXP. Yeah, so it looks like we've got it working. The radio was flashing away just now. If you look at the wire configuration now, have a good look. So we've got the power, you know, the live power is going here. The COS connection from the white cable goes under the circuit board. Then we've got this red wire is the PTT, which goes to transmit, which I've tested and it works. We're going to test the audio in a minute, and we're going to have a connect to someone. We've got Nico helping out as well.
I'm not actually helping out.
Right, so the yellow wire is the receive, and that goes here. Brown, let's have a look now. What have we missed out on? So I think we've covered all the wires. So have a good look. It is working. We're going to do another test in a second. We'll put it on camera. But right now, because we need another buck converter, which is this thing, we've just plugged the Raspberry Pi into the normal USB connector, and we've used the buck converter that I've got, and we've lowered it to 4 watts, and we've powered, we're powering just the radio. Yeah, we could even use, I could actually use the battery to power the radio. I could just charge it up. I might have a go at doing that, because then I could switch the buck converter to the Pi. But it's definitely working. We're going to do a test soon. M0FXB. We have some success.
It's not worth doing another one sort of thing. Yeah, she's been fine, touch wood. So they kept her in. She's been isolated. But she did have a funny turn before the COVID, and it did knock her off her feet. And this is all very strange. She was off her feet for probably about 2 or 3 weeks with chest symptoms. And this is before it was even announced. I'm going back only 4 months before,
So, okay, well, it's working, it's receiving. Just having some problems setting up the transmit, but we're getting there. 7.3. M0FXB. So it's all flashing away. We've even got a couple of LED lights on there. Over here. One that goes green when it's transmitting. I don't think we've connected the red one to this on-off switch yet, which will go on the Raspberry Pi on one of these pins here. So you can see the wires, the configuration. So the yellow is the receive, the red in the distance is the PTT. You've got a black earth there. Now this brown one here, or black and brown, is actually the live coming from this this buck converter, which is this thing here, which basically, if you turn that gold screw, it lowers the volts from 12 volts you know, to what you need. This is, I've just put it on this normal DC power cable. So as you can see, it's in an iPhone box, which is quite funny. Then you've got the C, it's either the M or the CS108 at the back there, flashing away. That's the sound card, which has been modified, and there's a video on modifying that. So then you need to add your image from AllStar or Ham VoIP. I'll put a link in the description. Get that onto that image onto an SD card into your Raspberry Pi 3, and when you boot it up, you use the IP address to configure everything in PuTTY. But this isn't a whole tutorial; it's just quickly overview at me with my iPhone box. So what I am going to do while you're here listening, I'm going to do a voice parrot test on the what do you call it? On the computer there. We're logged into Supermon, and we've logged into 40894, which will give us a parrot test. So let's call in and see if we get a parrot back. So Mike 0 Fox